No, it does not do a good job of that. That's quite simple. I think the reason why it doesn't do a good job at that is because we put the cart before the horse. What do I mean by that? I think in Lionel Robbins' famous definition of economics about being about fixed ends, which he meant preferences, by the way, and scarce resources with alternative uses, he basically made it about allocation. That's about how to use these scarce resources as efficiently as possible to fulfill those ends. Okay, that's an allocation question. The questions you raise about growth, about equity, fairness, climate change, they're different type of questions. They're not just about the allocation of scarce resources and efficiency. There's more that we have to consider in trying to answer those questions. So I would have thought that somebody like Alfred Marshall is a much better place to start. Now, I'm aware that Marshall has something of a mixed reputation these days. He certainly was the father of classical economics in England at the turn of the last century, but he also was very keen to look at economics from the point of view of mankind, and that's not a genderized term. But he pointed out very clearly, this is not man as you would like him to be, but man as he is. And that, I think, is very important. It gets us back to the question of, well, what are we? We're not just all about allocative efficiency. There are other questions we care about. We care about fairness. We care about the climate change. We care about the next generation. We have a whole set of beliefs about what we think is reasonable. And I think that's what Marshall was hinting at. He probably didn't go as far as people would like to achieve that, but he did talk a lot about organizations as a way of using knowledge and about inventiveness. And it's really the inventiveness that has given us this last 300 years of extraordinary rise in prosperity. But we have to take that inventiveness and think about how we use our ingenuity and resources as real human beings, rather than just make it all about allocation of some scarce resources. Because, creativity, it's not obvious that it is a scarce resource. It's not obvious there is a limit to this. And that's why I think we've kind of, in some ways, given ourselves a pretty limited question to answer when we start discussing those bigger questions of climate change and inequality and gender and so on.